offers a full line of sales and listing services. Hale Realty and Auction has attracted buyers and sellers from all across the United States and several foreign countries. Hale Realty and Auction offers a full line of real estate from starter homes to large farms to commercial property in central Kentucky. Whether you're buying or selling a home, farm, or business, Hale Realty and Auction's mission is to give you individual service with a taste of Southern hospitality. Call us today or go to our website, salewithhale.com.
Snap, snap, Snappy Tomato Pizza.
We make your pizza with our authentic recipe.
Ooh, Snappy Tomato Pizza.
Hand stretch the dough and it's made fresh daily.
Ooh, Snappy Tomato Pizza. Snappy Tomato Pizza.
I'm ready for a Snappy Tomato Pizza right now. 111 East Main Street in Springfield. Call 859-336-9888 or order online at snappytomato.com.
We are at the historic courthouse in downtown Springfield. Hi, everybody. Hal Good with the G&G crew. John Graves will be going to him in just a moment. To my left is Ben Augustin. He'll be here this evening, and he's going to be keeping some numbers for us. Matthew Smith producing this event, and we're going to start a little earlier than we had originally planned because numbers are coming in furious here in the area, and you'll see our format. It'll give you a chance to see how we're going to be carrying the numbers throughout the evening as far as what we have here in Springfield. Now, our coverage this evening for primary election day, we appreciate the folks that have been a big part of it. The Washington County Fiscal Court, Brett Berry, Washington County Clerk. Also, we want to take a big thank you, Snappy Tomato Pizza, and also Hale Realty and Auction. You know, primary election day in Kentucky's today. Races for Congress have really been making the Kentucky headlines, if you will, and I think if you look at other positions, when you start looking locally, that's what folks look at in Marion, Nelson, and Washington County, and that's what we're going to be focusing on for you this evening. Not only will we be focusing on the local races in Nelson County, we're very fortunate this evening to have the Clarks over there. Jason Clark, along with his wife Randy, will be bringing you the poll results. As you'll see below, the percentages that are coming in for each county. You'll see Nelson County and Marion County coming up, and over at Marion County, we appreciate Aubrey Osborne working alongside with Gracie Mann that'll be working there in Marion County. County clerks have just been wonderful to work with. The side bottom there at Nelson County, and of course Chad Mattingly at Marion County, helping us get ready so we can bring you this type of comprehensive coverage, because keeping up with what's going on in the Tri-County area is important, and we want to make sure to do that because each county will sometimes do things different, as we're going to be seeing here today on the judges stand here in the historic courthouse. John Graves, my partner, is up there this evening. He'll be reading the polls. That's how they've done it for many years here, John. We've seen many different folks do this. Carol Kelly comes to mind, and now here tonight you're going to be reading them. John, we're going to need you to mic up there if you don't mind. Yeah, that's okay. This is a family. It's a family show. You're all right. We can kind of jump in there. Just do it live. There you go.
Yes, Janine Warren did this for years. Brett Berry did this before she became clerk. Carol Kelly has done it the last 4 years. I was asked to do it today and gladly accepted. It's tough sitting up here in this chair reading all these numbers, but we'll get through it, and glad to do this. As you said before, every county does this a little different. I think one of the cooler things here at Washington County is they publicly read the numbers. They don't just tape them on the door and then they're brought up here, and you'll see that tonight as we read through the numbers here in the historic 1816 courthouse.
We are just getting the numbers in, and that's why we went on a little earlier than 7 o'clock so folks could kind of get used to the format that we're going to be utilizing for both Marion, Nelson, and Washington County. Because our start, John, do you want to go on and tell everybody where we are at this point? Because the unofficial Washington County results are coming up right now at the bottom of the screen, and you can see anything from State Senator 14th District all the way down to local magistrate races.
Well, and what we've had so far is the 6-day early voting, the absentee mail-in, and then absentee walk-in voting. And then we have had, so that's those three, and then we have had the two, both tapes from the Washington County Extension Office. we've got that in. We're still waiting on Frederickstown to come in. We're waiting on Washington County Middle School to come in. There's a voting center in Washington County in the Mackville area at the community center, and then there is one in Willisburg at the North Washington Elementary Middle School. So several years ago, post-COVID, Washington County moved to the voting center, so you can vote anywhere you want to in the county. Most people still kind of vote where they have always voted. Very weird people like me that'll vote somewhere different than somewhere local. But so that kind of changes the complexity a little bit because you don't know all the votes. You used to be able to go to the polling areas. We had 14 here, and go to those, and you kind of knew. But now you got to kind of wait for all of them to come in.
So as you see the bottom of our screen, you're going to see not only the percentages as we will be able to have them for you, but also you'll be able to see the number that is beside, and that is your vote total that we have. Again, these are all unofficial. We are bringing them directly from the courthouses. Our groups will be over in Nelson and also in Marion, so this will rotate. As you see, the Marion County results are just now coming in, and they as well are going to be having those results that are coming in with just what John mentioned. Most of your absentee, some of your early voting numbers are coming in, so that will move as projected in some of the numbers. You'll find out after a couple of precincts how the numbers really kind of flow along. And John, while we've got you with a moment, early voting. Think of the popularity since COVID of how early voting has been able to work in our area and how many people like that. And I think it's done very well. We're in Washington County, a lot of success with it.
I think so. They worked really hard to, and this from the Secretary of State's office all the way to your local counties. They've done a good job of making access to vote. If you don't vote today, and I know the turnout's going to be somewhere probably sub 25%, you had plenty of access to vote, as you had early voting for 6 days, absentee, same-day voting. There's plenty of opportunity to get out and vote, and I always encourage people to exercise that right.
Quickly we've been able to show some votes from around now Marion County is up. We showed Washington County. We do have some individuals that are stationed in LaRue and also in Spencer County. So we've got some numbers there, and I've got John's ear up here as well. 14th District Senate seat, absentee, mail-in, early voting. It looks like for that seat that we're keeping up with, Dallas Robinson with 256 votes. Kearney 36, Mudd 135, Victory 78, Bayers 15, Smith 15, Shelburne with 12. Nothing on Spencer yet, but that's what it looks like in LaRue. I know Stephen Kearney is in the building with us here, as he is the local candidate here in Washington County. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on that race.
I think so too, and I think that it's going to be very tight. As I've seen some totals, as I'm reading numbers, I'm not able to kind of keep up with some of the totals like I normally do. But there's been a lot of interest in that 14th senatorial district, the one that replaces Senator Jimmy Higdon, who's been in that seat since December of 2009 when Judge Dan Kelly retired. So there's been a lot of interest in that race. Stephen Kearney, again, is here. He's done a great job the last 4 years serving on Washington County Fiscal Court. So good to see the turnout, and I think the numbers Washington County, I think he's done well in Washington County so far.
And early numbers in Marion County show Mudd with an early lead in our area from some of the absentee votes and the early voting that is coming in at this point in time. The local races, John, here in our area, of course, the magisterial races, so important, and Washington County has their fair share of them here this year.
They do. I think some of them are decided after the primary. Some of them will go to the fall. We've got Mr. Hagan that's in here listening to the numbers. I'm always impressed that I love to see people get out and run for these positions. It's not easy to take time away from your family to commit to doing better for the county and putting your name out there. And I'm always hopeful when I see new people that jump in and get involved with the political process.
Marion County results still coming in. I just noticed that under the Marion County Judge Executive Joe Strong, 297 absentee votes in the early voting as well, and it shows Livers with 0. Don't know if that's if we're not there at that point yet or not. It also shows Cowell and Gardner with the early voting in. Cowell at 52% and Gardner at 43%. Been a lot of talk about that Marion County Sheriff's race in Marion County. Jimmy Clemens, a retiring individual as sheriff there in Marion County, so a lot of concentration with that sheriff's position.
It is, and you've heard a lot about the sheriff's race over in Marion County. You've heard a lot about the sheriff's race over in Nelson County. There's a lot of races that are contested tonight that have been, a lot of people, a lot of talk around the community, and I'm interested to see how some of these shake out.
You also look at the jailer in Marion County, Barry Brady, retiring in December, and Huntsberger and Furman are your two candidates for that race as well. They'll face off in a general election race, but now in the primary, it'll be those two.
And again, you talk about Jimmy Clemens, you talk about Barry Brady, you talk about a lot of shoes to fill there, and interested to see how they phase out. So.
I know you're getting ready for the elementary real quick. 14th district in Spencer County, absentees votes have coming in, and it looks like right now Lynn Shelburne with 250, Dallas Robinson 204, Kearney 68, Ben Mudd 188. So we'll go back to John Graves for more results from here in Washington County.
This is tape number 1, Washington County Elementary Middle School. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 2. George Washington, 0. Dr. Val Frederick, 0. Andy Barr, 14. Nate Morris, no totals. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 17. Anissa Catlett, 1. Michael James Ferris, 0. Jonathan Holliday, 1. United States Representative in Congress, 1st Congressional District. David Sims, 1. Robert James Sotheby, 2. Penny Arcos, 3. James Comer, 26. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District. Peggy Smith, 2. Brian Bayers, 0. James Victory, 1. Ben Mudd, 12. Stephen Carney, 14. Dallas Robinson, 3. Lynn Shelburne, 4. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District. Devin Hood, 0. Mike Jones, 0. Dallas Lewis, 2. Magisterial 2nd Magisterial District. Charles Hagan, 1. Justin Hatchett, 3. Magistrate 4th Magisterial District. Richie Hamilton, 2. Ronnie Huntsberger, 9. Magistrate 5th Magisterial District. Matt Medley, 4. John Vise, 6. United States Senator Joshua Blanton, Sr., 1. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 2. Charles Booker, 15. Pam Stevenson, 2. Dallas Romans, 3. Logan Forsyth, 1. Amy McGrath, 13. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District. Carrie Truitt, 24. Malcolm Jones, 11. State Representative, 55th Representative District. Katrina Sexton, 14. Nathan Cicito, 20. Public count, 73. Is everybody good with those totals? All right. Washington County Elementary Middle School, tape 2. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 2. George Washington, 2. Dr. Val Frederick, 5. Andy Barr, 149. Nate Morris, not red. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 155. Anessa Catlett, 5. Michael James Ferris, 13. Jonathan Holliday, 5. United States Representative in Congress, 1st Congressional District, David Sims, 38. Robert James Sotheby, 16. Penny Arcos, 15. James Comer, 260. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District, Peggy Brady Smith, 5. Brian Bayers, 2. James Victory, 19. Ben Mudd, 109. Stephen Carney, 172. Dallas Robinson, 46. Lynn Shelburne, 5. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District, Devin Hood, 4. Mike Jones, 13. Dallas Lewis, 29. Magistrate, 2nd Magisterial District, Charles Hagan, 12. Justin Hatchett, 43. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District, Richie Hamilton, 32. Ronnie Huntsberger, 51. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District, Matt Medley, 41. John Vise, 32. United States Senator, Joshua Blanton, 12. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 8. Charles Booker, 117. Pam Stevenson, 12. Dale Lewis Romans, 12. Logan Forsyth, 6. Amy McGrath, 111. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District, Carrie Truitt, 192. Malcolm Jones, 78. State Representative, 55th Representative District, Katrina Sexton, 134. Nathan Cicito, 135. Total public count, 649. Is everybody good with that tape?
Again, we're at the Washington County Courthouse. John Graves has kept a tradition, basically, it's gone on here at Washington County, where they read the totals before it's given to any of the local press that's here. And so we've been able to get those numbers for you. And that's exactly what you're seeing below us. And again, John is assisting us in our coverage here. And John just saw some Nelson County totals while you were reading that last precinct. And interesting thing is, again, we're early. I mean, we're just in the early voting. These are numbers that are from the absentees. So when you see these numbers and the percentages, make sure to look at the percentage and the numbers. Yes, the numbers are just now coming in, but they will come quickly. We had came on a little bit earlier this evening, and right now it's the time we were planning on coming on. But we've been able to go through that cycle, and that's what we'll do. We'll do a cycle of Washington, Marion, and also Nelson County. Interesting races in Nelson County. A couple of magistrate races and also the race for coroner. But one more interesting, and we haven't really focused a lot on statewide races to a certain extent, except for those in our Tri-County area. But the U.S. House Kentucky District Number 4, Thomas Massey and Ed Galrin, that race is going to be really interesting with some of the early results that are coming in. John, I'll go back to you. They're showing that race could be very interesting. A lot of money was spent on those for advertising. I went back to look at some of the numbers that I was getting from Spencer County, which, again, you got that Spencer County, you've got Nelson County that is part of that area. And even with the early numbers that came in with absentees and early voting, it showed Gowron at 616 and Massey at 380. So that's just early numbers, and it's still early, but that's been a race that there's been a whole lot of interest in.
And it's not just been a whole lot of interest here in Kentucky. That is a race that has been circled by President Trump and the Republican Party in the primary. There's disagreements between the factions of the Republican Party on that one. So that one's had some outside money, out-of-state money spent on it to try to unseat Thomas Massey.
Interesting sparing in that county judge executive race over in Nelson County. Incumbent Tim Hutchins and Don Thrasher for that Republican seat. And then you've got 3 Democrats vying for the fall: Benjamin Corder, James Taylor Roby, we know him as JT Roby, and Shamika Ashby in that race.
Again, a lot of people coming out to be a part of the process, and that's what makes elections happen, is getting different points of view and being involved. And anytime you can get more people to the table, I think it's a good thing, Hal.
And in the sheriff's race, Raymond Pinarola, the incumbent Democratic sheriff, Adrian A.J. Lewis Jr., really making a big run in this primary to face off against William Culver, the Republican, in the fall there in Nelson County.
And again, you've got Pinarola, I think, has been there 2 terms, if I'm correct. A.J. Lewis had previously worked in the sheriff's department, I believe. And so, again, difference of opinion over there. You talk to some people, and they're, Pinarola is their guy, and you talk to some, and they think it's time for a change.
Coroner's race, interesting there. It'll be determined here in the primary. Daniil Claudek, who is the coroner there in Nelson County, facing off against Kerry Munnin. So we'll find out that result for you tonight. PVA is the same, 2 Republicans, Jason J. Williams, the incumbent, and Stephen Hibbs. And really in the magistrate races, there's several magistrates in District Number 2 with some opposition. You look through that, Adam Wheatley there, Gary Coulter, also it looks like M.T. Harned. Also, he is District 3, so I want to make sure that's clarified there. Gosh, we've seen some many candidates for magistrate over there. We had a chance to meet Deborah Bohochevsky, who is running. She came to our event that we had here in Springfield just to speak. Just some really folks that are putting their name out there and putting their leadership capabilities there as well, John.
And give it a different voice. It's, magistrate, it doesn't get much localer than being on fiscal court. That affects the most people when you start looking, down the line of state reps and Congress. Those fiscal court, they affect daily lives in a local community more so than a congressional seat or a state rep or a state senator, for that matter.
Again, a total of 1,956 candidates for county offices appear on the primary ballot statewide. Just a really big turnout this time, John. You're talking about magistrates and county commissioners. Largest share of candidates on the primary ballot statewide, 1,110 that are running. Of those, 974 are Republicans, 136 are Democrats. If you look for how that looks, and even on the county judge executive races, second largest category, 238 candidates on the ballot, including 211 Republicans and 27 Democrats. 75 counties with multiple Republicans vying for the position, 11 counties with a contested primary for Democrats.
Well, and that just goes to show you the difference in opinion out there. For this state Senate seat in the 14th, replacing Jimmy Higdon, I think there were 7 candidates in the Republican primary and 2 for the Democratic primary on that one.
Marion County results are underneath right now, and our producer was telling me if you see no votes for Livers, we've been informed Livers did drop out of the race over there in Marion County, and that's why that looks to that case, but there's no votes being counted.
And to that point, Nate Morris has dropped out of the Republican primary of the United States Senate race, which is why when I get to his name, it's highlighted. Any number there, I'm just skipping and saying Nate Morris, no votes counted, because he has withdrawn from that race.
But you can see the Marion County numbers, and again, they are about at the same point We're probably further along in Washington County right now than Marion County. Marion County has several more precincts that are open over there, John. And, you know, when you look at those Marion County precincts, again, Chad Magley does a great job there. His early voting, I understand, just went phenomenal. But, you know, on Election Day, Gravel Switch Community Center, Bradfordville Civic Center, Marion County Public Library, Center Square, David R. Hergen Building, Holy Name of Mary Parish, the Coon Hunters Lodge, VFW Post 5910, Raywick City Hall, Loretta City Hall, Holy Cross School, and St. Charles Church. You just don't hear of that many polls being open anymore for county races like that.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, those are all polling centers, so he's got a variety of places to vote over there. But if you live in Gravel Switch but want to vote in Loretta, you have that option in Marion County, correct?
13,506 registered voters in Marion County. They can vote at any of those. And then they also had early voting, and at Marion County they did it at the Sportsplex and went from, if I'm not mistaken, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I know it was later hours.
No excuse not to be able to get a vote in on this primary here in Central Kentucky.
Not in Marion County. Chad Magley, the county clerk there, really went to some extra steps to make sure that those early voting, 6-day in-person absentee voting, there's just no reason. And we hear coming in, is it going to get 30% here in Washington County, or is it going to be close as far as turnout?
I don't know. You know, when you start talking about 25-30% turnout, that's pretty low. And primary season's a little different because, you know, not everybody's on the ballot. You've got some candidates that have no opposition that are not on the ballot in the spring because they don't have any opposition. So it's just opposed races. So sometimes you get people that are not going to come out and vote because they say there's nothing to vote for. This primary, as I cast my ballot this morning, there's always something to vote for. It's non-negotiable to not vote in my house, so I don't think I've ever missed an election.
Again, the votes you're seeing below that are running at our footer here this evening are votes that you're seeing unofficial, and these are Nelson County results that are coming about. And right now, we're just having a few precincts that are starting to come in, and we hope this will move along very quickly. But again, we understand that these numbers are very important. So we are treating this as a marathon and not a road race. If someone else wants to be first, that's fine. We're going to make sure that our numbers are correct and coming to you from the county courthouses. Again, we have Jared, we call him J-Rod, Clark, and his wife Randy. They're great partners with G&G. They are at the Nelson County Courthouse. Gracie Mann, alongside with Aubrey Osborne, they're working together at the Marion County Courthouse. They are feeding us numbers. And as you see these numbers that are coming, these are numbers that are continually changing. And when those numbers go in, they come up. The rotation will be Nelson, Washington, and Marion. But as soon as that rotation comes back around, just as you've seen on larger networks, it will show you not only the percentage of votes that they are carrying from that area, but the number of votes that we have that are unofficial at this point till we are done, but the official votes that are being tallied at each location. Now, the locations in Nelson and in Marion County do it a little different than Washington County. They hand the press a sheet with all the numbers as they come in from the precinct after they're checked in. They're at the county clerk's office. Here, they go directly to the county clerk. They go to the stand where John Graves is here this evening. He'll read them for public record, and then we'll go on and put them in as John is reading them immediately, so you'll have those numbers. Again, you can see underneath Galleron and Massey. Again, that race is really, in our area of Nelson County, it's a big run for Galleron on some of the votes that we have in right now. You see some of the 4th congressional district Democrats there that are running there in Nelson County. Now for the 14th district in Nelson County, victory there with 134 votes in that with the early going. Other votes being tabulated. Kearney, 4% of the votes. Robinson, 28%. Mudd looks like he's leading in Nelson County with 35% at 218 votes being counted in his favor at this current point. And there's Shelburne at 7%. So again, that race was it's being a highly watched race around the state, as well in that state senator for the 14th district. You'll see the numbers from the Nelson County results. They're going to come up and it'll keep rotating. John Graves, I believe, has another section that has come in from around the county, and we'll give you those from here in Washington County.
Election Day vote, Holy Trinity Parish Center. This would be Fredericktown in Washington County. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 0. George Washington, 2. Dr. Val Frederick, 0. Andy Barr, 35. Nate Morris, no totals. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 41. Anessa Catlett, 1. Michael James Ferris, 2. Jonathan Holliday, 1. United States Representatives in Congress, 1st Congressional District. David Sims, 10. Robert James Sotheby, 3. Penny Arcos, 1. James Comer, 68. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District. Peggy Brady Smith, 3. Brian Bayers, 0. James Victory, 10. Ben Mudd, 26. Stephen Carney, 37. Dallas Robinson, 10. Lynn Shelburne, 0. Magisterial, 1st Magisterial District. Devin Hood, 2. Mike Jones, 7. Dallas Lewis, 9. Magistrate, 2nd Magisterial District. Charles Hagan, 0. Justin Hatchett, 2. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District. Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District. Matt Medley, 2. John Vise, 4. United States Senator Joshua Blanton, 5. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 3. Charles Booker, 17. Pam Stevenson, 0. Dell Lewis Romans, 8. Logan Forsyth, 3. Amy McGrath, Amy McGrath, 29. Everybody good? State Senator, 14th Senatorial District. Carrie Truitt, 55. Malcolm Jones, 7. State Representative, 55th Representative District. Katrina Sexton, 43. Nathan Cicito, 18. Public count, 153. Is everybody good on that ticket? I apologize for the misspeak. Primary election held Holy Trinity Parish Center. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 1. James Duncan, 0. George Washington, 0. Dr. Val Frederick, 0. Andy Barr, 13. Nate Morris, not read. Jimmy Leon, 1. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 15. Anessa Catlett, 0. Michael James Ferris, 1. Jonathan Holliday, 0. United States Rep in Congress, 1st Congressional District. David Sims, 4. Robert James Sotheby, 3. Penny Arcos, 1. James Comer, 23. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District. Peggy Brady Smith, 0. Brian Bayers, 0. James Victory, 4. Ben Mudd, 11. Stephen Carney, 9. Dallas Robinson, 4. Lynn Shelburne, 3. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District. Devin Hood, 0. Mike Jones, 3. Dallas Lewis, 3. Magisterial, 2nd Magisterial District. Charles Hagan, 0. Justin Hatchett, 1. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District. Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magisterial, 5th Magisterial District. Matt Medley, 2. John Vise, 3. United States Senator. Joshua Blanton Sr., 2. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 0. Charles Booker, 3. Pam Stevenson, 4. Dale Lewis Romans, 3. Logan Forsyth, 1. Amy McGrath, 10. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District. Carrie Truitt, 18. Malcolm Jones, 6. State Representative, 55th Representative District. Katrina Sexton, 16. Nathan Cito, 6. Everybody good with those totals? That was the Berg, first and both tapes in the Berg. All right, tape number 1. This is North Washington School. Is everybody good here? United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 1. George Washington, 0. Dr. Val Frederick, 0. Andy Barr, 20. Nate Morris, not read. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 15. Anissa Catlett, 0. Michael James Ferris, 0. Jonathan Holliday, 0. United States Rep in Congress, 1st Congressional District. David Sims, 8. Robert James Sotheby, 2. Penny Arcos, 0. James Comer, 24. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District. Peggy Brady Smith, 0. Brian Bayers, 0. James Victory, 1. Ben Mudd, 7. Stephen Carney, 21. Dallas Robinson, 5. Lynn Shelburne, 0. Magisterial, 1st Magisterial District. Devin Hood, 14. Mike Jones, 3. Dallas Lewis, 14. Magisterial, 2nd Magisterial District. Charles Hagan, 3. Justin Hatchett, 9. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District. Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District. Matt Medley, 0. John Vise, 1. United States Senator Josh Blanton, 0. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 0. Charles Booker, 3. Pam Stevenson, 0. Dale Lewis Romans, 3. Logan Forsyth, 2. Amy McGrath, 4. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District. Carrie Truitt, 10. Malcolm Jones, 1. State Representative, 55th Representative District. Katrina Sexton, 8. Nathan Cicito, 3. Public count, 50. North Washington, same day voting, ticket 2. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 1. George Washington, 1. Valerie Dr. Val Frederick, 0. Andy Barr, 164. Nate Morris, not read. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 119. Anessa Catlett, 1. Michael James Ferris, 9. Jonathan Holliday, 3. United States Representative in Congress, 1st Congressional District, David Sims, 33. Robert James Sotheby, 15. Penny Arcos, 7. James Comer, 218. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District, Peggy Brady Smith, 4. Brian Bayers, 3. James Victory, 6. Ben Mudd, 69. Stephen Carney, 154. Dallas Robinson, 60. Lynn Shelburne, 11. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District, Devin Hood, 11. Mike Jones, 21. Dallas Lewis, 104. Magisterial District, 2nd Magisterial District, Charles Hagan, 19. Justin Hatchett, 88. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District, Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District, Matt Medley, 2. John Vise, 0. United States Senator Joshua Blanton Sr., 2. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 2. Charles Booker, 37. Pam Stevenson, 3. Dale Lewis Romans, 4. Logan Forsythe, 4. Amy McGrath, 29. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District, Carrie Truitt, 56. Malcolm Jones, 24. State Representative, 55th Representative District, Katrina Sexton, 53. Nathan Cito, 25. Public count, 401.
Finish up that one?
Yes.
How many have you had now, John, with your results that have come in for Washington County?
My best math tells me that the only thing we are missing is Mackville.
Okay, that's what I thought. I think you got 4 or 5, correct?
Yes.
So as you're seeing the numbers that are coming up below, and again, we're at the Washington County Courthouse, if you're wondering why they're being read out loud, they read them out loud
Here at Washington County, so the public can get them directly from the county clerk's office, and John Graves is doing that this evening. A little bit of housekeeping here, John. I've got some numbers in, but first of all, the Associated Press as well as Fox News are calling Andy Barr declared the winner in the U.S. Senate race to replace Mitch McConnell. Those numbers show pretty true from what we've seen in Lebanon, Bardstown, and Springfield.
Yes, I think that's, and again, it's hard for me to kind of keep up with the numbers as I'm trying to read stuff up here. But
Well, then just as you've seen in Washington County, it'd be a fair question.
I think
probably.
so. Yes, as I've seen that, I see one number bigger than the other as I come through.
Now look at these numbers. These are from LaRue County. These are finals in that 14th state Senate race that I have from LaRue County. And it shows Dallas Robinson with 1,102 votes. Ben Mudd would be running second in that with 565. James Victory, 378. Smith with 58, Bayer 78, Kearney with 109, and Shelburne with 59. So LaRue County going big with Robinson. Those are unofficial numbers, but they tell me in LaRue County those are the final tabulations for LaRue County and the numbers. Now, they will not be included in our tabulations below. Each tabulation you see are the results from like Nelson, Marion, and Washington County. But when we are complete, we'll have those for you. Now, the numbers aren't coming in near as quickly for us in Spencer County. We've only had a couple of reports in from Spencer County on some of those precincts that have already reported in. But they're reporting in. Those numbers we'll be able to tabulate as we get those complete. Blake Durrett in LaRue County, I understand, is going to continue to be the county judge down there. I know him, John. He's a fine man. He had a race against 3 other individuals I think were very fine folks, but we will congratulate Blake Durrett as he will not have any fall opposition. And he, as a matter of fact, changed his party from Democrat to Republican to run in that race in LaRue County. So interesting there, but congratulations to him. You're seeing Nelson County results, and there again, Gowron and Massey. Gowron almost 2-1 in that 4th congressional race that is going on there in Nelson County. One that we've kind of kept an eye on, and I think the entire state of Kentucky has kept an eye on that race. Other results that are coming in, I asked our producer, Matthew Smith. Matthew, do you know with these Nelson County results, how many precincts we have in at this point in time? Have they reported back? They have not reported back to us exactly, and we'll just kind of check on that to kind of give you a good perspective of where we are. Because in Marion County, we've got, like we said, about 12 or 13 different precincts. Washington County, we're just one precinct away from being able to tell you the final results here in Washington County. But here in Nelson County, you see the 14th district there with some of the numbers that have come in from over at the Nelson County. Looks like that's the Boston precinct, along with all the early voting and the absentees for Nelson County that you're seeing right now. It looks like Carrie Truitt running strong in that race. Not a projected winner, but at 71%, she's carrying her fair share load of the votes against Malcolm Jones, a newcomer basically in the area, but one a lot of folks have talked about. Boy, the PVA race. Right now, a dead heat at 50% each between Williams and Hibbs there in Nelson County with just some of the early numbers. Hutchins starting to pull away from Thrasher in that Republican look for the county judge's seat, as Hutchins at 62% of the votes. And again, that's just the votes that we have in that we are counting right now. That'll show you the Democrats as J.T. Roby leading the charge against those folks for the Democratic nominee there at Nelson County. Again, we thank the J. Rod Clark, his wife Randy, participating in that. Magistrate's 2nd District, right now, it looks like Coulter is 56% of the votes to Wheatley with 44%. Again, unofficial numbers that we have right now, and just one precinct in. Harned, they're in the 3rd District, 76% of the votes he's been able to gander against Call. They're in the Magisterial District, 3rd District in the Republican seat. Magistrate 5th District, Shields at 51% of the votes, but again, it's early. Those could be some of the early votes too. Just your absentee, your early voting. Only one precinct so far with the Boston precinct. Lewis here leading Pennarola, 63% to 37%, with some early voting, absentees, and one precinct in at this point right now.
Hal, one race, Washington County I want to look at, 5th Magisterial District. I've been doing some side math here. You can ask Ben to kind of look at that one. Unofficially, what we've got is Matt Medley, who is the incumbent. You want to look at those totals?
Sure, go ahead. We'll pull them up. Go ahead.
I don't have them.
Your statement.
It seemed like as I was reading numbers, it was here and back and forth. I think that one's close.
Matt Medley and John Vise. Is this the vote totals right there, Ben? Is that what you have? How about this for close? 103 to 102. John Vise with 103, Medley with 102. That's just it right now is what we have. Is there another precinct that they're waiting on for that?
I have, the North, I just handed the last ticket.
These are unofficial numbers as well that we're
make sure
putting out there. We want to make sure to let you know that.
Yes, so there is a vote in that category. So I'll get to it, and we're going to do some.
There is a vote in that category?
There is.
Well, that's a close race. That is a close race. So
Mackville Community
we'll go back
Center.
to John Graves.
Tape number 1. And I think this is our last 2 tapes. Am I correct? United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 1. James Duncan, 0. George Washington, 0. Dr. Val Frederick, 4. Andy Barr, 48. Nate Morris, not read. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 37. Anessa Catlett, 1. Michael James Ferris, 5. Jonathan Holliday, 2. United States Rep in Congress, 1st Congressional District. David Sims, 9. Robert James Sotheby, 2. Penny Arcos, 2. James Comer, 86. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District. Peggy Brady Smith, 1. Brian Bayers, 1. James Victory, 3. Ben Mudd, 13. Stephen Carney, 51. Dallas Robinson, 26. Lynn Shelburne, 4. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District, Devin Hood, 0. Mike Jones, 0. Dallas Lewis, 0. Magistrate, 2nd Magisterial District, Charles Hagan, 2. Justin Hatchett, 11. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District, Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District, Matt Medley, 0. John Vise, 1. United States Senator, Josh Blanton, 1. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 1. Charles Booker, 13. Pam Stevenson, 3. Dale Lewis Romans, 4. Logan Forsyth, 1. Amy McGrath, 20. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District, Carrie Truitt, 27. Malcolm Jones, 12. State Representative, 55th Representative District, Katrina Sexton, 29. Nathan Cito, 14. Public count, 148. Last tape, everybody ready? Mackville Community Center, Election Day voting. United States Senator Donald Wenzel, 0. James Duncan, 0. George Washington, 0. Valerie, Dr. Val Frederick, 1. Andy Barr, 0. Nate Morris, not read. Jimmy Leon, 0. Nick Shelley, 0. Daniel Cameron, 2. Vanessa Catlett, 0. Michael James Ferris, 0. Jonathan Holliday, 0. United States Representative in Congress, 1st Congressional District, David Sims, 0. Robert James Sotheby, 0. Penny Arcos, 0. James Comer, 3. State Senate, 14th Senatorial District, Peggy Brady Smith, 0. Brian Bayers, 0. James Victory, 0. Ben Mudd, 1. Stephen Carney, 1. Dallas Robinson, 1. Lynn Shelburne, 0. Magistrate, 1st Magisterial District, Devin Hood, 0. Mike Jones, 0. Dallas Lewis, 0. Magistrate, 2nd Magisterial District, Charles Hagan, 1. Justin Hatchett, 0. Magistrate, 4th Magisterial District, Richie Hamilton, 0. Ronnie Huntsberger, 0. Magistrate, 5th Magisterial District, Matt Medley, 0. John Vise, 0. United States Senator Joshua Blanton, Sr., 0. Vincent Anthony Thompson, 0. Charles Booker, 1. Pam Stevenson, 1. Dale Lewis Romans, 0. Logan Forsyth, 0. Amy McGrath, 1. State Senator, 14th Senatorial District, Carrie Truitt, 2. Malcolm Jones, 1. State Representative, 55th Representative District, Katrina Sexton, 0. Nathan Cicito, 3. Total ballots cast, 6.
Is that complete on that, John?
I'm out of tapes.
So unofficial results from Washington County. What's going on your screen right now are the unofficial Marion County results that are going to be streaming underneath from the U.S. Senate race for Democrat right now. But we're going to look at a couple of things here. And John, we are close, even unofficially, can declare a couple of folks that are going to win. A couple of them are going to be very close already that's been pointed out. And we'll go to the Washington County results when you pull them up, as John has just read all of them, and the official results be coming in. But again, some of the numbers I've seen coming through, I want to remind you that I did get LaRue County's numbers. They had 29.2% vote in LaRue County. And on that 14th state Senate race, again, Dallas Robinson with 1,102 votes.
50% for both of them there. 102 votes for Matt Medley, and it looks like 104 for Vise. And my producer. Oh, okay. Let's go back and I'll repeat that again. I had a microphone issue. Washington County results. This is from magistrate in the 5th District for the Republican. Right now it shows Matt Medley, the incumbent, with 102, John Vise with 104. So both of those, it's 50%. It's a dead heat right now. Those are unofficial numbers. Those are numbers that we've been able to gander from here at Washington County. Let's go and look at another magisterial race. Let's just keep it right there if you don't mind. Let's look at Washington County results for magisterial district number 1. The Republicans running there. Dallas Lewis, looks like Dallas Lewis was 66% of the votes there, 231 unofficial. He is the incumbent there, and he will regain that seat because Mike Jones at 75 votes, 21%, and Devin Hood at 12%. And then the seat that was vacated, Steve Devine will be leaving this fall, not vacated, but he'll be stepping aside this fall. Magistrate in the 2nd District, it shows 2 Republicans, and it does show that Justin Hatchett has won that seat in the 2nd District, 261 votes. It's 81% of the votes to 19% for Charles Hagan and 60 votes. Then another magisterial seat in the 4th District, which is a lot of the district is still around Springfield and in the inner city area here in Washington County and Springfield. Ronnie Huntsberger was 71% of the votes, 136 votes, compared with Richie Hamilton with 55 votes and 29% of the total votes. So that kind of gives you an idea of how the magisterial races are starting to pan out here in our area. I see just Squire Lewis there. Congratulations, sir. And as he's here in Washington County keeping up with those votes. And since I retired, I've been coming back to the physical court meetings and the court there with Dallas Lewis representing his area. It, again, looks like he will be back leading again the charge for that area. You're seeing some of the Nelson County results that are still coming in. Matt, if you want to give me an idea about how many precincts are in with the Nelson County. So it looks like Boston, New Haven is in, and all the early voting and the absentee votes and such are all in right now. And again, it does look like as you're seeing some of the Nelson County results, still kind of an early piece over there. Go ahead, Ben, tell me what you want me to look at on this.
I can show you Nelson County, what's in.
Oh, okay, can you show me the Nelson County piece? Perfect then. So we're seeing, and these are all the ones that are in right now from Nelson County. That's great.
Boston School,
So Boston School and that
New Haven,
New Haven is in.
early voting.
And then just started about. So what Matt had told me is per case there. And they're entering data right now as we speak. They're entering the data there in Nelson County. And we thank the Clarks for working for us there in Nelson County. Again, Gracie Mann, Aubrey Osborne over at Marion County. Many more precincts are in right there, but it kind of gives you an idea as we're winding up some of the Washington County. We're going to stay here. We'll stay here and keep you informed of what's going to happen in Nelson and also in Marion County. But also we're going to try and get a good grasp before we leave on this 14th state Senate seat that is open. I mean, we're right now looking at the numbers from Nelson County. Victory with 21%, currently of the votes that are in there. As those numbers continue to come in, and we're continuing to get those put in there. Robinson 31%, Mudd with 32%, Kearney 5% of Nelson County right now. Again, I want to look at the Washington County 14th district. I know Kearney is in here, and he worked. Stephen Kearney worked very hard in Washington County, but he worked the whole area hard, and quite frankly, I'll speak bluntly, by covering some of these debates, the mini debates, anymore a debate or a forum, and just people just stuck these things up. It really didn't matter. I mean, if you were there, you were going to be visible somewhere. And of course, G&G, we did our production piece of those, but at each one, you could see a lot more confidence in Kearney. He's been a magistrate, a first-term magistrate here. Just an excellent speaker, very knowledgeable of state law. But if you look in Washington County, I'm not surprised, as Kearney carried 50% of the votes in Washington County, 772. The closest person to him was Ben Mudd at 27%. So congratulations, as Stephen Kearney is here. You know, when you think about getting involved in politics and where you are and where you start, and again, we're not finished yet as far as when the numbers do come in. There's curiosity of what you'll do and where you're going to go. And again, I think some of those things you have to take those tidbits with you as you move forward into a political piece to be able to represent people in this territory. So you have good numbers in Washington County there. And again, as the numbers are coming up for the Nelson County results, you can see now we're on the magisterial 2nd district. I'll get John back in here since he's done with his duties here at the courthouse.
Official duties.
Official duties. You know, it's interesting how long that's gone on. Now, I have been doing election coverage of some form since 1982 here in Washington County. And that's when J.T. Whitlock sent me over here with a legal pad and a free Springfield State Bank No. 2 pencil and said, go keep up with those numbers, like our gal, Miss George, is doing over there for the newspaper. And I tell you, you know, to go from there to come to where we are right now, to be able to do 3 counties,
right?
And now, you know, with the voting, and even in Washington County, you know, it didn't take over an hour and a half. We've been here sometimes till midnight counting up votes. So it's interesting to see how all that has just changed, and the voting in general. Interesting race going on for coroner over Nelson County. I've been following that one, and Claudette right now at 44%, Munnin at 56%. Went to a couple debates over there in Nelson County, John. That's going to be an interesting turnout, but still a lot of votes left to come in from over at Nelson County.
Yes, as I kind of took a break there for a minute, I'm still trying to catch up on some of the vote totals and everything. But this next, what time is it? I don't even watch the
7:45.
7:45 local. This next 30 minutes is going to be kind of critical to everything. And of course, when we had our production meeting last night, we told everybody, as we told Ben tonight, it's not about how fast. I know you've mentioned this. It's about accuracy. So you all may be seeing totals other places that we're making sure that we get the votes in right. You know, Facebook lives a little bit longer than other things, and so we want to make sure that we're reporting as accurate totals as we can. And of course, everything we're reporting tonight is unofficial. They will officially post those once each county is done, and then there's a certification process with the Secretary of State's office. And you know, when you look at that magisterial, the 5th magisterial district here in Washington County, I'm betting there's going to be some double checking going on. I know 4 years ago there was some double checking that went on.
I'll go back to the production studio. I've got a couple texts about our audio, Matt, if you can check that to make sure it's coming in. You got it now? Okay, yeah, okay. I think we just had a motion there, a moment when we had some audio glitches there, so it should be good. So thank you for the texts. I appreciate out there. That shows how important. And then our feed, Matt, we might want to look at that. I've noticed our feed has come down. Don't know if it's a glitch. Now we're back up, so which always is something we got to kind of work around.
Hey,
there.
We're spread out over three counties, and how many? We got everybody kind of rolling in tonight, so there's going to be some stuff here and there.
Washington County results are right now running by John, and really, you know, we've been keeping up with the local races. Haven't talked much about that U.S. Senate race, and for the Democrats side here in Washington County, McGrath ran very strong, carried about 45% of the vote.
Charles Booker, I think it seems like those numbers were pretty close with those two being
Before.
on top. I haven't even picked my phone up to look at some statewide totals here, but it looks like McGrath 441, and then Charles Booker 348. So that's about a 10-point spread in that race, with a whole heap of people running in that one.
Yeah, you can see now for U.S. Representative, 1st Congressional, the Republican side, Comer, 83% of the vote. I'm not really surprised on that one either here in Washington County as we look at those results that are coming through. Here's the one I keep looking at, the 14th District State Senate race here in Washington County. We just mentioned that. You can see the margin. Carney in his own home county did just exceptionally well, 50%. Mudd with 27%, Robinson 14%.
Well, and again, no campaign strategist. It's pretty. You've got to run it up in your home county as much as you possibly can. These are the people that have elected you once in a magisterial district, and these are the people that you are around on a regular basis. So you've got to run that total up as much as you can in your home county, and that's the same for Ben Mudd. And Dallas Robinson and James Victory and Lynn Shelburne and Brian Bayers. You've really got to make sure you run your totals up in your home territory.
You can see some of the for 14th District State Senator Truitt. I would say it's naturally fair to say here in Washington County she's done well. Overall, some of the numbers, I've not seen the other numbers. We kept up with the Republican side, but not as much on the Democratic side there in LaRue County, as Dallas Robinson ran big. I'll see if I can't find some of those numbers. And then this magistrate race. Gosh, your territory you used to cover is turned into another slim margin. 2 votes is what we have unofficially.
6 votes in 2022 was the difference, and right now it's 2 votes.
So you can see Justin Hatchett will be the magistrate there, and magistrate to the 2nd District.
And Steve
Devine will be leaving in December. And then you see Huntsberger. Not a lot of votes, but it doesn't matter. He gathered 71% of the votes there in Springfield, and which that's where the main part of that territory is, in Springfield, for the magistrate in the 4th District for the Republican piece.
It heavily is this
and
way.
here, 104 to 102, Vise and Medley. Wow. So right now, if everything becomes official, and it looks like it could be, there may be a recount or anything like that, Vise will face longtime magistrate here, Billy Riney, that is running again.
He's running again this fall, and the general election had no opposition this spring.
Yeah, and Riney was magistrate when I was magistrate, and he was magistrate before he became his magistrate. How long was he magistrate there?
32 years.
32 years. So that'll be an interesting race this fall, as you'll have that piece of the election come back around. Now we're back into Marion County results, and I really want to see what the sheriff's race is doing over there right now. If we could look and see, Matt, can you tell me what precincts, because we've got several there in Marion County, and I might be able to look over here and tell myself. So I think we got one more precinct, which is Raywick in Marion County, which will finish us off. Then we'll be waiting for Nelson County results. So that does look like the case. And right now, boy, it is really a dead heat, this sheriff's race, and it'll be coming up for you below. But the numbers we have, Ray Gardner, 1,326 votes, and Jeff Cowell with 1,633 votes, all unofficial. Rakes with 163. So everyone was saying how close that race is going to be, and it is going to be a close one.
It is going to be close. I'm looking at the percentages. It's about a 10-point spread, but you don't, I think they said Raywick was the last thing outstanding, and you don't know, and I'm not familiar enough with that race, the people in that district to know, okay, is that going to be enough to bring Gardner back into it? Or is Jeff Caldwell, what's that vote total look at? You look at trends a lot of times, and I noticed it when I was reading numbers here. You're looking for trends. Somebody typically running, a certain way. But when you get in these local races and these polling centers, it really matters which end of the county and what vote is outstanding, because you can see some wild swings.
The Marion County final results are in.
The Marion County final results are going to be coming in?
Gracie said that they're in.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we can re-pull a feed, and now we've got the finals from Marion County, and we can go on and give you those unofficial results that we have from Marion County. While he's doing that, we were talking about the sheriff's race, and we also heard that this was going to be a close sheriff's race in Nelson County. Raymond Pinerola, the incumbent there, and then Adrian A.J. Lewis, running for that Democratic seat there to be able to run in the fall against William Culver. And last time I looked at that race was really close.
Yeah, and I was going to see if Ben could pull up the Nelson County race totals, and we can look at those numbers for sheriff.
Okay.
A.J. Lewis.
It looks like right now A.J. Lewis, 64%. It's even larger than it was last time. 86 votes. And then 619 to Pinerola. So kind of an interesting number there. It's a lot larger than it was before. And how many precincts do we have there in Nelson County? I'll let Ben pull that up. We'll take a look at them. And these, again, are all the absentees. We're going to quit telling you that. Absentees are in. Your early voting is in. It's all there. So, but it's along with these other precincts that we're waiting on. Are we waiting on Nelson County High School? Waiting on Cox's Creek, Nelson County High School, Bloomfield Middle School, Thomas Nelson.
So there's still quite a bit of vote out there left.
And what's the other one? Bardstown Elementary. In the library. So there you go. We rounded off about 6 or 7 places in Bardstown. So as you're looking at Marion County results, this is the final results. Is that correct, Matt? That we have unofficial from Marion County. And these are currently the full numbers we have from the Marion County Clerk's Office, and we thank Gracie Mann, John.
It's weird when you say that.
I know. I just try not to say Graves. It's so easy to keep that rattling off your tongue. Aubrey Osborne, for the first time, we appreciate her joining us there from right there in Marion County, the Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. But, you know, it looks like in our area, again, McGrath, from that standpoint, for the U.S. Senate seat, as you look at those numbers.
I think it's that time of the night that I kind of get on.
Might want to look at, if you
State
can,
Senate.
John, I am very interested in, if anyone out there is watching Spencer County. Some of the numbers I got early were good, but I wasn't able to keep up with the precincts, so I don't have many of the Spencer County numbers. If I could have those, we could do much better with some of our tabulations that we have. And if our group could get together, if we could start combining the areas within that 14th to come up with some projective totals on that, that would be good as well if we could have that. This is LaRue County. And I maybe, John, while you're looking at that, I want to go back to my group to see if I can find out how the Democrats did in that same seat. But it looks like Truett was running very strong in that. And again, here's your numbers for Marion County. Mudd was 63%. Yeah, 74% of the votes there in Marion County ran very strong. And in Washington County, 668. So ran very strong as well. See if I can get LaRue County some of the votes from there.
Well, you're looking that up. I'm looking statewide, of course. Some of the New York Times has already called Andy Barr.
Yeah,
I know you've already reported that. The Democratic primary, Charles Booker running 42.5% against Amy McGrath, 39.7%. So there's a 4,000 vote total difference, but there is quite a bit. That's only 28% reporting in that race. And they have, New York Times' Gallerin has been,
there's a sheriff's race in Marion County. Sorry to interject, but it looks like Cowell 52% to Gardner's 42%. So if these numbers hold true, Cowell will be the next sheriff there in Marion County. And then Huntsberger and the jailer is another one looked at. Huntsberger 65% to Furman at 35%.
That's almost doubled up 1,088 to 1,004.
Again, Bishop setting magistrate there in district number 3 in Marion County, 74% of the vote in his area. And again, these are the numbers that we have that are complete there in Marion County. Buckman 87% over Thompson at 13% for that 5th District Magisterial seat. As these Marion County numbers come in.
Now you're back into the United States Senate race.
Let me give you the LaRue County Democratic numbers for that 14th district seat. Carrie Truitt, 461. Malcolm Jones with 447. So there you go. So now, John, on that seat, we wait, and as we go through again, another rotation on the Nelson County numbers as they come through. We're going to let all these continue to come through, and then if we need to, we're going to start focusing on Nelson County and the finish over there. But I think we've been able to do a pretty good job in telling you how Washington County looks right now, and also Marion County, how that's starting to play out. Marion County's just really finishing up. We'll let that have another cycle through.
You know, I feel like I know how Corey Houck feels at a thunderstorm now when he's watching severe weather stuff. We're watching coverage coming from different counties, and we're trying to break down the information and the data. The only thing we don't have is the map and the velocity tracker. But as these numbers are coming in, it's kind of neat to see from all 3 counties. It's the first time we've done this. We've normally just done Washington.
I'd like to have more Spencer County. If anybody's got a Spencer, I'd love to have some more numbers on that. Yeah, what's with Spencer County? Have you got any ideas? Yeah,
They've got a lot.
that's kind of what we're waiting on. Is
What was that you
Spencer
said?
County.
They've got a lot of contested primaries up there. They've got a county clerk primary for one, and then they've got two or three districts signed out.
Some of our folks,
Okay.
yeah, that's what our folks in Spencer are saying, and then some of the things that they're getting are not even. Anyway, I don't know how they do it there at their polling areas and posting, but they've been sending me some of that. So right now, it's going to be a wait and see till we get some of those numbers from Spencer County, how you can determine what's going on in that 14th. But we do have some of the numbers from our area, and I can tell you, it looks like that Carrie Truitt is going to get the Democratic nominee, and then we'll wait and see on the Republicans. Now, really quick, WLKY Channel 32 have called it Gowron over Massey. That's what we started talking about earlier. Right. Started talking about the money involved in a race and the race itself, John, but it looks like it probably won't be long before the Associated Press, Fox News, been a lot of eyes on that race. And again,
New York Times has already called that.
They've
race.
already called that too?
They have.
So right there you got it, that Kentucky 4th U.S. House seat. We'll have someone else there. And again, Donald Trump, very outspoken, bringing in anyone from D.C. to speak on behalf of Gowron. And Massey, after many years serving in that seat, he will be out after this year.
He is. They have. New York Times has also called. Looks like Hal Rogers race has been called, and Gowron has been called, and Comer has been called on the congressional statewide.
And it looks like some of the numbers that we're seeing right now, that Mudd and Robinson will be the numbers to look at from some of the Nelson County and then the LaRue County results and some of the numbers that we've been following here. But again, our Washington County results in Marion, we've got those finished up. And waiting now on Spencer County and the rest of Nelson County. So that's kind of where we are there. Truitt ran strong in Nelson County. 70% of the votes gathered there over Jones. And here's a close one there in that PVA. It looks like Hibbs right now is just inching forward 54. At 52% to 48% over Williams. And Williams the incumbent. Hibbs, long time, construction, things to that extent there in Nelson County. Hutchins, 63%. Thrasher, 37%. Tim Hutchins, the incumbent there at Nelson County. This gives you a look at the Democratic votes as we have them coming in. J.T. Roby, Again, still waiting for some other polls in Nelson County, but looking at this point, John, J.T. Roby running ahead of the pack there. Magistrate 2nd District, Coulter at 57%, another close magistrate race for the Republican seat. Harned, magistrate in the 3rd District, well in front of Call for that race. 297 votes. Still, not really.
And M.T. Harned's the incumbent in that one, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Shields, right now with the majority of votes. And again, not all the votes are in Nelson County. We're still waiting for them.
Waiting on 4 more.
4 more? Which 4 are we being?
Bloomfield Middle.
Bloomfield Middle?
Nelson.
Thomas Nelson?
Creek,
What's that last 2? I had Thomas Nelson.
Cox's Creek.
Cox's Creek?
Bardstown Elementary.
Bardstown Elementary. Thank you, Ben.
Ben was a little shy to be on camera tonight, but he's done a wonderful job.
He's just doing a great job. Robert Augustin, your father, that works, he's involved in politics a little bit.
He's been around this. He's been around this.
We appreciate Ben. He's done a good job for us. Now here's the Washington County. Let's give these Washington County ones a final look here, John, because what we're going to start doing is just getting these votes together and at least let you know what we have. No one in the room has anything on Spencer County, but we'll at least give you an idea of where some of the folks are through some of these as we look at Washington County. And John, again, we've talked about Barr, again, state of Kentucky.
It's been called the state of Kentucky that he's going to win here locally. Andy Barr with 48% and Daniel Cameron with 44%. That was a vote difference, 716 to 662. So give or take 50 vote difference.
14th state. And it'll be coming up here in just a minute. We'll be able to look at those votes.
Again, Stephen Carney with 50% of the vote here in Washington County, his home county. Coming in second with 27% is going to be Ben Mudd, 772 votes to 416, and then Dallas Robinson with 219.
Yeah, Robinson really did well in LaRue County. That's been the one he's been able to gander the most votes in.
Kerry Truitt, 74 to 26%.
Yes, please. Go ahead, John. I'm gonna try and see if we can get some type of number together of what we have in, as far as when we're waiting on some of these.
Now you're back to that number 2 pencil.
J.T. Whitlock taught me well. Good old J.T. I hear Larry over there. Kathy, gosh, Kathy over there worked for him. You know what I'm talking about. No school today in Washington and Marion County. All the kiddies were happy. So yeah, there's your congressional seats there. It looks like Mudd and Marion did very well with 1,098.
1,038.
1,038?
Yep.
Okay. Robinson with 251 in Marion. And 16 there. We're still waiting on some of the Nelson County results to come in. Did you see anything on Spencer County there, John?
I have not been able to find. I've been trying to search websites and I can't find anything from my normal
my
ones.
My last source on Spencer gave me this. Absentees. very minimal.
Very minimal numbers.
Yeah, very minimal information. Didn't even give me a read there. So we'll see if we can't get them to come back to us.
Where's Kearney and Marion?
So we go from there.
Still pretty early.
So others are still just gandering some too. I'm going to find out exactly.
Looking at
here.
that, while you're doing the math, looking at the
Go
state,
ahead.
again, I'm using various sites across the internet. Sexton running 58% to 42% in that 55th, which includes Washington and Boyle County. Katrina Sexton up, 16 points. Really not sure what's not in yet and what numbers they're working on that one. .31% in the United States Senate Democratic primary, Charles Booker, 42%, Amy McGrath, 39.7. That's a vote total of 3,400 votes right now is the difference in that one.
Right now,
Have you mathed it?
well, just for the three, because it's not fair without having all Nelson County votes in, not having the Spencer County numbers in. But with LaRue, Washington, and Marion, it looks like Ben Mudd, unofficially, 2019 votes. Victory with 537, and I can look here from Nelson County and Ben, and it shows Victory currently, and we're still waiting for a couple of others. Not the leading vote getter in Nelson County, as a matter of fact. It looks like Mudd is at this point in time. But again, unofficial, and they're not complete over there yet. And even Dallas Robinson, with the amount of votes he got in LaRue County, 1,571 votes. So it is looking right now, Ben Mudd, with those three in,
Right.
unofficially, just the numbers that we've been able to get from each of the county clerk's offices would have the lead in that.
But you don't know what's
By about 450 votes.
right, and you don't know. I know very little bit about the political landscape in Spencer County of what that might look like.
Dan Kelly's over here. He might still know, even though it was a few years ago that he kept up with it with his ear to the blacktop. But he's seen many a race. But again, I guess you still cannot ever know till that last group of votes come in. And even at the Spencer County votes, I did have the absentee votes that came in, and they were able to give to me, and I'll be glad to read those back to you, because once we get the finishing votes for that, we'll have a better idea. But even with the absentee votes on that race for the 14th senatorial district, it was very close. You have two individuals from that area, and Lynn Shelburne is one of them with 250 votes. But Dallas Robinson had 204, Kearney was 68, Ben Mudd had 188, Peggy Brady Smith with 23, Brian Bayers, 72, he is from that area. Victory, of course, from Nelson County, had 74 votes in that. So, right there, it gives you a strong idea that it looks like Ben Mudd right now would have the votes to win this, but it's just going to be seeing those final numbers come in before we even think about telling you who we think is going to come out.
And you've got in this Washington County, in this 5th magisterial district, it's a 2-vote difference.
2-vote difference is what we show.
So that's why we say our numbers are unofficial. We do the best we can with everything, and but it's unofficial. Can you pull up the judges race in Nelson County? I'm being asked about that.
Last time we looked, it was. You talk about the Republican or Democrat?
the Democratic, I'm being questioned, the Democratic candidate, just the totals based on what we have. We don't have everything in yet, but
Can you see it from there?
if I can figure out which line it's on.
These three.
Those. All right. So it looks like, and we're missing some from Nelson County. JT Roby with 1,677. Shamika Ashby 567. Benjamin Quarter with 412. So it looks like JT Roby, again, not knowing what's out, still still things. Don't move that bin. I'm going to send this person those numbers if I can. 7. When we've got people asking, and they've been so good to us through all the things we've done, I try to be to help out. Close enough. 412.
Once we complete here with Nelson County, the only thing we'll be missing is Spencer County. And I will see if I can just get the end results.
I want to go back to, I think it was Tim Russert in 2000 in the presidential campaign. It all come down to Florida. Senator Kelly, I think you may remember that race. That was in hanging chads and everything else in 2000. That was kind of my first memory in elections. But it come down to, I can remember him having that thing saying Florida.
Here's your Nelson County results. Still coming in. How many are we still waiting on there being?
3. They're putting one in right now.
They're putting in one right now, so we're 3 away. So still waiting on 2 before we can put
Creek
those in.
is not in. Bloomfield Middle and Thomas Nelson is outstanding. And what are they putting in right now?
They're putting in the Barstown Elementary.
Barstown Elementary.
So we're really 3 more. After the Barstown
3 more
Elementary.
after this one.
Okay. There's some of the numbers you can see there. I wanted to see with this sheriff's race over there in Nelson County too. One of those that's been talked about a whole lot. Even since we were doing the district tournament over there in March. I mean, just a lot of discussion about that.
AJ Lewis's total is holding. I mean, it's been 65-35 split over there for a while. And that's what you're looking for when you look at these, is you're kind of looking for the trends. How's somebody trending? Is their vote out? Is it coming from here? Is it coming from Cox's Creek? But for the last couple of updates here, it's still trending the same way, about a 2-to-1 vote margin there.
So as you see the banners below, Marion and Washington County, we've got those numbers together. They're complete. Nelson County, we're still waiting on some precincts. And the numbers from that state senate race, we're really trying to get Spencer County to get finished up. And just got a text back where someone's going to try and get those numbers for me. So I just said, let me have the end results. So we'll see what happens there. But it does look like from the Democratic side that Carrie Truitt has won that nomination to run in the fall. That's what it looks like, numbers-wise.
And from the couple of the websites that I'm following, that's what it looks like. And it looks like it's kind of on that probably 60-40 split, 62-38 split across the area. I mean, just in Washington County results, that's all. Is that?
That's Marion County, Washington County, and Nelson.
Marion, Washington, Nelson. Did you say you had Nelson, they've already put them all in? Oh,
No, that's just on that race.
Oh, just on that race. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
You're just talking about
So
her race.
75-25
All right, I'm with you now.
split right there in the counties that we're tracking.
Yeah, they're Mudd and Robinson over in Nelson County. You can see their numbers there currently. But again, those numbers will be coming in toward the end, and we should have at least a better bearing. But with LaRue, Washington, and Marion, we show officially, and there'll be some other folks that'll be telling you that they know for sure, but we can tell you officially that Mudd right now holds the vote lead at 2019 with those 3, Marion, Washington, and LaRue, compared with 1,571 for Robinson coming in at second.
450 and some change vote difference
something
there.
like that. Something like that at this point. Well, that was a close race, and it still is a close race for PVA, Hibbs and Williams. I think the coroner's race as well, we talked about that And there's your Republican for county judge, incumbent, Judge Hutchins, and Don Thrasher there. Hutchins at 63%. For coroner, Daniil Claudek is the coroner there, and Kerry Munnin is the opponent. And last I saw, Munnin had a short, small lead in that race. So in those numbers,
Bardstown Elementary's in.
all right, got Bardstown Elementary that's going to be put in. We're going to keep the rotation going. I think we should, don't you?
I don't think we change anything.
If someone comes in wanting to see Washington County, that the main thing we're going to wait around for is to try and get some Spencer County numbers. So before we leave, we can tell you what is happening in this 14th district seat. And if we have to stay here a while, that's what we'll do. But we're going to try and make sure we have that information for you before we get out of here. I'd like to have that part of it from Spencer County if we have to pull it somewhere else. Let's see here now.
I think we're both trying to hit cell phones and text everybody we know to see if we can get numbers out of Spencer County.
Let's see here now. Let's see what this is. Spencer County. I think I got some numbers here from Spencer County we can kind of put together. This would be, all right, John. State Senate, if you don't mind. This is 14th District. If you're following again, we're still waiting on Nelson County, so we got time. Okay, Carrie Truitt in Spencer County, 685 votes. Jones, 282. And that, my producer just told me that Toby Lewis had them on his Facebook page, and that is where these were sent to me from. So here are the Republican numbers.
All right.
All right.
You want to start typing, work down?
I'll start at the top and mark down.
Smith.
So Smith, hang on here. 80.
All right. Bayers.
255.
255.
Victory be next, right? Yeah. 251.
251.
695.
And that is for Mudd.
260 is the next.
And that is for
Kearney. 737 for Robinson.
737 for Robinson.
And 973.
973 Shelburne.
Shelburne, who's from that area.
How much of that is in? Do we have any idea how close they are?
Finished.
Is that finished?
Yes, that's finished.
All right, so there's not enough there for...
We're still waiting on just Nelson County.
All right.
But I think we can at least get an idea here.
All right, so...
How much closer that is. I think we're on the Carrie Truitt.
I think
those numbers are pretty easy to see.
Carrie Truitt, I think we can unofficially probably do the green check mark on that one, I would say. Let's see, Victor, you want math? You want me to math? This is what live coverage looks like, y'all.
This is what it's all about. Let me finish up. Let's go with the top. Yeah, let me go and do them all. Let me just go and get them all here. I can do this. Let me get these real quick. You carry on there for a minute, and I'll get these numbers. Again, these are unofficial, but I think it'll be give all of our folks that are watching an idea on this race.
I think, based off what I saw earlier, I think it's going to be close, but I think Mudd's going to be.
Talk about John, and again, that magistrate race, the close races that you saw tonight. here in Washington County. That's what I was surprised of here in Washington County.
I
just
tell you
some
what,
close races.
Ben, work with me here. We're going to start with that. Go down just a little bit. I'm going to start with the first magisterial district. I'm going to talk real local, granular politics. Too far to come down just a little bit here. Let me see. All right, first magisterial district. Let me make sure I get my names right here. Is it Devin Hood with 43 votes, Mike Jones with 75 votes, Dallas Lewis, the incumbent, with 231. 375. There's no opposition in that, so Dallas Lewis unofficially we'll project that out. In the second magisterial district, that's kind of north end of the county, Charles Hagan with 60, Justin Hatchett with 261. Again, not contested this fall as Steve Devine is retiring. In the fourth magisterial district, Richie Hamilton with 55, Ronnie Huntsberger with 136, and I don't think that has a race this fall either, does it? And then in the fifth magisterial district, Matt Medley with 102, the incumbent, John Vise with 104. That's close. I thought that race was close in 2022, but it just got closer. District, let's see, let me go through my districts. District 3, Bobby Lee Russell, your old stopping grounds, was unopposed in the spring and fall. And then District 6, which is the Fredericktown area, Philip Kerko had no opposition, spring or fall.
Okay, you ready for these numbers, 14th?
Roll with them, brother.
Let me give you these numbers and put those with the Spencer County numbers I gave you. We'll start from the top, okay?
Okay.
Smith 135, Bayers 95, Victory 537, Mudd 2019, Kearney 1067, Robinson 1571, Shelburne 110. Now, when you have those numbers calculated, we should have 4 of the 5 counties.
With
We're
Nelson
waiting
County
on Nelson
outstanding.
County. Which Nelson County, how many away are we? 3 more. 3 more. So we're still waiting on that. So again, that should give you LaRue, Washington, Marion, and Spencer. Now our numbers from LaRue came from the county clerk's office. From Spencer, came from that guy, Toby. What's his name? I'll get it from this one. Toby Lewis, there you go. And now Washington County, Marion County, we got our own folks there. So we know that we are in we know the numbers that we're getting are the right numbers. That's what we want to make sure of, because we're getting numbers that are getting hit by every direction in this foxhole we're in. But we want to make sure that we get the numbers from some of the other folks. Right now, 3 minutes ago, Raymond Pinerola put on his Facebook page, social media page. I'm just going to state that while you're doing that. He says, at this time, I'd like to congratulate A.J. Lewis on his win. Wish you the best of luck. I attempted to call him, but no answer. To my supporters, thank you. Thank you for your support, allowing me to put signs in your yards and businesses. In almost 8 years, we've transformed the Nelson County Sheriff's Office in many ways. I know we are leaving it better than we found it. It's time for this cowboy to ride into the sunset. So they're basically Raymond Pinerola conceding
on Facebook
to Lewis.
And then there's a race. That race has a fall component as well.
It has a fall component. And again, we know we read from Pinerola.
Yes.
And but we know that the numbers are there showing it's a large percentage for Lewis. But officially, we're still about 3 precincts away.
But the gap's
there, and that's what he sees, and he's done a good job there.
He has
a good job. I respect that. But it looks like Lewis and William Culver, will be the other individual on that.
Pull up the Nelson County results for the 14th district. Because I'm gonna do some wild math here. I want to see some vote totals here. 3 precincts outstanding. Ben Mudd and Robinson are running pretty close. I've got a gap of about 400 votes here. between Mud and Victory.
And what's the difference there? It looks like just a couple hundred votes between them there.
Ben Mud and Robinson?
Right now.
7.
7 votes?
8 votes.
8 votes?
8 votes
between
difference
them?
with 3 to go.
Okay. Still got 3 precincts to come in.
3 voting centers to come in over there.
But let's go on and look at your tally of what
So
you have.
without Nelson County, with LaRue,
This is
Washington, Marion, and Spencer, unofficially, what I have is Peggy Smith with 215, Bayer 350, James Victory 788, Ben Mudd 2,714, Stephen Carney 1,327, Dallas Robinson 2,308, and Lynn Shelburne 1,083. So rough math tells me that is 406 votes difference that Robinson would have to make up on Mudd in Nelson County with 3 precincts to go. I don't know if there's enough vote out there. Cox's Creek is being entered now.
So as we talk about it. So what does that, Ben, where does that leave us at over in Nelson County, the precincts?
2 more, Bloomfield, Middle, and Thomas Nelson.
So Cox's Creek's coming in. You still got 2 more that are over there. So you're really still waiting for those 3, which are, well, Nelson County is just the largest county within the entire Senate area.
It's its own House district, so that means it got about 50,000 people.
So there's going to be some votes there that could weigh one way or the other, even with this. When you look at that, let me see these numbers again on that. Look at wow, isn't that's pretty close from what some of our numbers show. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Again, when you look at the individual ones, Mudd ran very well in Marion County, 1,038, and then Robinson ran very well in LaRue County.
Which are both home counties for each one of them.
Home counties for them.
And Stephen Carney ran very well in Washington County.
When you look at what did you say his number are with all of them in?
1327. He's running 3rd.
A lot of folks said that he'd come from maybe 5th or 6th, moving into that top 3 where you try and position yourself as you move into the finals of trying running against so many people.
And it's tough in a 7 numbers when you've got seven people in a race. It's tough.
Well, in a true primary sense, it's tough. Do you want to come over here and talk to us for a minute? Okay, that's fine. I'd be interested to know, first term as magistrate, so he's a magistrate, then jumping into a larger field like this, just the challenges that you're faced with. Well, coming into something like this.
And I'll tell you.
And a lot of it is going to do with fundraising, because, anymore, you look at how early that Andy Barr was able to get the nomination. And I mean, they spent a lot of money. Gowron, pulling off what he did. I mean, there's just there's a lot.
A lot of money goes
into that, and that's something that has to be done. I mean, it's just part of it.
Well, and again, Stephen, how old are you? 30. There's a lot of time for Stephen Carney to be a member or represent somebody. He's a leader. You don't even have to be in office to be a leader. He's very well spoken. I enjoyed watching his ads come through. Represented Washington County very well in this 14th District Senate race.
Well, we're talking about some other races, and again, we're going to wait till these Nelson County results come in, so we'll have a better idea on that seat. Let's talk about some of the other races that really there were a lot of focus on. One I look at is the Ray Gardner race there for the Marion County Sheriff. I know you had 3 individuals run for that, but Ray Gardner basically was the sheriff and got the appointment, and Cowell, was a deputy there, and you look at all 3 of the individuals, really, they were all individuals, people well respected. They felt comfortable with people like that leading them in their enforcement piece there in Marion County.
Well, and I'll tell you, in retail politics at a micro level, when you start looking at districts and countywide races, I mean, these are people you see on a regular basis, and these things can be super tough, and you're splitting hairs sometime of this or that when it gets down to it on these races. But if you look at that race, I mean, it's what, 10 point spread there.
Yeah, 52 to 42%. Ray Gardner, and again, the total amount of votes. You can look at the percentages, but look at the total amount of votes there, John.
306?
Yeah.
307?
Yeah, just a short margin of votes there. 1,633 to 1,326 for Gardner, and Coel with the leading votes, and then William Chad Rakes with 163.
And and you look at those, the William Chad Rakes, 163. If that number is closer to 300 or so, then you start wondering, okay, did that play spoiler to somebody? But with that vote margin, it didn't. It really didn't play into the set there.
So now you start looking at some of the fall races while we're waiting for these Nelson County numbers to come in. Since we're talking about Marion County, we'll do just that. Again, Joe Strong with the Republican nominee there.
And I was unaware that Walt Livers had dropped out of that race.
It was on the poll, and I was as well till we got word that was the case from over the county clerk's office. I will say it was rumored there. I'd heard that, but I never really heard anything to basically say anything official about that dropping. But nevertheless, it will be David Daugherty, the Democrat, the incumbent, as the judge running against Joe Strong.
And that race, if you look at social media, I mean, that Joe Strong is he's on social media a lot, and that's the way to get a message out. I'm not saying anything negative or positive about it, but he's on there, and that's how you get your message out and directly talk to people.
Then you look at the other race in Marion County that'll be this fall. Will be Gordon, Adam Gordon, I believe is his first name. He'll be on the Republican ticket running against Huntsberger, Tina Huntsberger, who won tonight. The
65-35 split on that one.
Something like that.
So that was...
ran against a fine person, Tony Furman. Those youth know him.
How do you not like Tony Furman?
I mean, just a great guy, ran a great campaign, and there again, in the fall, Huntsberger and Gordon.
Yes, and that, again, you see what these things look like. Sometimes politics, they get very one-sided. You wonder how much the national politics is going to come into play in some of these local elections this fall.
So Washington and you look at Washington County, they too have a couple of races that there'll be a lot of focus on. One for county judge, Timothy Graves, the incumbent Democrat. Will be running against Bud Blair, the Republican, and this will be their second time.
The sequel? They run 4 years ago?
4 years ago they ran against each other.
And that race was fairly close, and things have changed. Things have changed locally here in Washington County, and you wonder again, what does national politics do to that one?
You got a sheriff's race, another one. It's kind of a sequel.
It is.
I think this is Joe Carpenter's third run for Washington County Sheriff as a Republican. And he'll be running against Democrat Jerry Pinkston.
And Jerry Pinkston's been in office. I want to say this is his second term he is completing. I think 8 years that he's been in office. And then you've got a couple other races that are unopposed.
Well, and then you've got the magistrate race that we've determined this evening.
So Dallas is in.
Yeah.
And Hatchett's in. And Bobby Lee's in. And then Huntsberger is in, correct?
Carrico's
in, and then it's going to come down.
Matt Medley falling this evening. Vise will be running, newcomer.
2 votes.
2 votes. John Vise wins in Washington County, and he'll be running against longtime former magistrate Billy Roney. How many years did you say he had?
32.
32 years. So he's getting back into the magistrate business. So you've got that race this fall.
So most of your court here in Washington County is going to be settled except for one race and then the judge's race. And, of course, county clerk jailer, and PVA is unopposed here in Washington
So
County.
we'll still have state senate, we'll have state rep, Kim King. We'll find out.
I think Katrina Sexton was the last.
Sexton gets
what I can't call it yet, but Sexton was up.
And again, we did not get the votes. That Kim King's area is not only Washington County, but it does also include Mercer County and parts of Jessamine County, if not all of Jessamine County now. It's changed up so much.
I misspoke earlier and said it was Bull.
big
That was
part
the
of
old district. It goes
Old
Mercer,
district. Yeah,
and it's
no, it
the
goes north,
Wilmore part of Jessamine County. Couple precincts up there.
I always thought maybe they'd included that whole area, but I don't think so. I think
No.
you're right, because now Jessamine County is basically almost Fayette County. The way that parts of that southern part of Lexington come into Jessamine County, it's just a big population growth that they have in that area. So that race will also be determined this fall.
And I think our plan, as we did the forums back in April, it seems like 2 weeks ago, we're hoping to do this again this fall and widen it out and have more conversation.
That's Margaret Goatley over there, isn't it? Margaret, Ellie's been sending me some good stuff here, so tell her thank you. I appreciate that. And Ellie, if you're watching. Another Facebook post, this is since we're talking about magistrates, we just talked about Richie Hamilton. Richie Hamilton, congratulates Ronnie Huntsberger on the win for District Number 4. Know that you'll represent the district well. Congratulations.
Cox's Creek is in and Bloomfield Middle is being put in.
All right, so what was that again, Ben?
Cox's Creek is in.
Cox's Creek is in.
Bloomfield is being put in.
And Bloomfield Middle is in. So we're just missing Thomas Nelson over there. Once we get that vote total, if we can go, we'll let them get those two in. Again, Jason Clark and Randy Clark, who have been a great addition in all things GNG the last 3 or 4
doubt.
months, are over there putting those in.
Are you thinking we should go back just to Nelson County and just bring those, since we've had Washington?
I think we've done Washington County. I think we've done
agree.
Marion County.
Matt, can we make that happen if we needed to revamp and just do Nelson for our final as we're finding out?
Okay.
I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that, since we're only really a precinct, and they're going to have Cox's Creek in here in a moment.
And we'll
again,
try to get some posts out on the sites with just some totals later
G&G
on.
on demand. We'll get some totals
Yes.
for you as we'll get those, and we'll get the official totals from the state as they come in. But I can tell you, since we got these from the county clerk office and one from, which I would say would be a reliable source, since it came from a candidate, that I feel comfortable enough that we would add that on to this 14th. 14th district state senate race that we've been keeping up with, and now I think once we get Nelson County, we'll at least have some numbers, and if we're really, really close on this one race, it's going to be worth looking at to see how it does finish up.
And everything we do is unofficial tonight because we're doing the totals. All the county clerk's office will post an official total, but that, until it is certified by the Secretary of State, and that happens in about 10 days, nothing is official for a couple more weeks. They'll go through the machines, make sure everything's correct. So that's when we say unofficial, we feel comfortable in our numbers, but again, we just want to make sure that that the process works as it's supposed to.
We'll go and answer a couple of questions. A friend of mine over in Marion County. I know people voted for Walt Livers. They knew he dropped out, but wanted to make a statement. Are those votes counted? They are not.
They are not counted.
Yeah.
Once you withdraw.
Once you
and we
withdraw,
had that here in Washington County as Nate
you
Morris was
withdraw,
on the
you
ballot,
don't.
but I was instructed by the county clerk's office not to read those totals because they don't count.
Yeah, because they don't count. So, and again, there was some other information here.
And another little side piece, if you're a write-in candidate, you can't just write people's name in. You have to be a declared write-in candidate for an office. So if you go in and write Mickey Mouse's votes are not going to count unless Mickey Mouse had filed the paperwork to be a candidate, a write-in candidate. So I know some people say, hey, I'm going to write Hal Good in for an office. But unless Hal has done the official paperwork as a write-in candidate, those votes are not counted either.
You need somebody cooler than that. You need like Jimi Hendrix or Bob Dylan or somebody like that.
Ben Augustine.
That's who I would do, or Ben Augustine. He would be a good one to do. So how far along are we on this Nelson County? That's the only thing we're waiting on. Thanks again for everyone that has tuned in. Again, we're trying to put the trifecta here this evening, the triple crown of election coverage with Nelson, Marion, and Washington County. But we do want to wait on this one seat that we had been able to get some votes called in from some other
Ben,
areas.
can you bring just the vote total up for Nelson?
We are now just going to be running the Nelson County results. So
We're halfway through Bloomfield Middle and.
Yeah, I just want to see what the I just want to see what the trend is. If you can go to the Nelson County totals.
yeah, we've
And then
already
the
heard
state
from
Senate.
Sheriff Pinarola.
State Senate.
Yeah.
Again, Lewis winning that nominee in the Democratic Party for Nelson County. Go ahead, John.
I'm not seeing that there's one precinct left, and that's Thomas Nelson, but I'm not seeing a gap big enough for Robinson to overcome Ben Mudd. Is they're running basically even, what is that, 19 vote difference?
19 vote different right now in
And that's
Nelson
the
County.
same as it's been. So I think Ben Mudd's going to be your Republican candidate for state Senate.
Yeah, we'll wait for that last precinct. We waited this long, so we can wait for that last precinct to come in from over there in Nelson County. And thanks for the Clarks, again, for hanging in there with us, getting there, their first time to get involved in the coverage and some new systems that we've put together to do this with. So there you go.
Got a question real quick. Ben, can you go to Washington County and 55, the House District, 55th? I need to give those totals out. Yep. There we go.
I was trying to get that Spencer County number, a percentage. I know Margaret Goatley just sent me some information. Did you see that percentage, how many voters they had over in Spencer? I didn't see that it was on there. They had 29.2% in LaRue County, and just wanted kind of to see how Spencer, there's a lot of things in Spencer County that a lot of the folks that were running were saying how the area is growing, how Louisville, there's a lot of that growth from Louisville. The people are moving into Spencer County. They had that probably about 15 years ago, and now they're getting it again, the way it looks. So, again, the turnout probably even statewide, we'll be able to look, is going to be somewhere near about 30%, maybe 31%. And I think that's what Secretary Adams said it was going to be.
I think so too,
anyway.
and I think locally, I think we were looking at somewhere closer to 25%.
See if the Associated Press has anything here.
Wow. Statewide, with 41% of the votes in, Charles Booker, 41.12%, Amy McGrath, 40.34%. That's a difference
wow.
of 1,407 votes out of, it just updated. Hold on, let's see. Charles Booker, 74.92. So with that last update, it is 1,205 votes.
Difference in that one.
In that Democratic U.S. Senate race. Of course, Andy Barr has already been called for Daniel for the Republican primary.
Some conceding going on. I've seen some emails come in.
What was Washington County's turnout percentage?
So strange.
I don't know if we have that number.
I know they were saying about 23% earlier when absentees came in, but I did not get the finished number as it came complete. So again, we are waiting, and you'll see underneath the Nelson County results as they are coming to you, the Marion County results and the Washington County results complete. We get those. What's that?
Bloomfield Middle's in, and they're putting in the last one, Thomas Nelson.
Putting in Thomas Nelson right now. So our last one is going in.
Last time I'll talk about this race, but race has intrigued me, something completely different. Charles Booker is now a half a percentage point ahead of Amy McGrath.
You'll see the numbers for Nelson County. They're going to be at the bottom here. And again, we are putting in the last precinct, and that'll immediately update everything as it goes. But what we're going to do is come back, and after we get the numbers and when you feel comfortable that they're downloaded, we just really want to focus on that 14th Senate seat to where we can get some of the final numbers. And John, I can either read them off for you.
You read them off, and then I'm going to do some math.
Ones, that would be just the final. That's the 5th one that we have from Nelson County. Will be it, and again, that'll be basically our official numbers that we've been able to gather this evening. And as Muhammad Ali said, just prove me wrong. That's what you got to do. So it can be done, but we'll let you be able to do just that. So 27.2 turnout. Yeah, when they had their just the walk-in votes and the early voting. So 27% in Washington County.
County clerk said there will be a recanvass in the magisterial.
Oh, she did say in the magisterial race with Matt.
I cannot imagine.
I'm not surprised about that. So again, we're being told that the 1-2 vote victory for John Vise, that will be a recanvass on that. The incumbent.
When it was a 6 vote difference, there was a recanvass.
It was a recanvass. You were there. You were there. You were there. So 27.2% in Washington County. Okay, so
All
as
right,
we wait our Nelson County numbers, Ben, you just let me know. And we'll go from there. But you'll be able to see these unofficial Nelson County results that are underneath, and you can see some of them like Harned there, 77% of the vote will move on in that magistrate, the 3rd district, the Republican race. Here you see that Shields, finishing up some of these numbers, 56% of the vote. Lewis, almost 2-1 there. 64% to 36%. And again, we heard earlier from Sheriff Pinarola.
So
Looks like a new coroner possibility there with Munnin at 56%. Claudette, 44%. So that could change.
All right.
And then it goes back to this.
Ben, where are we at? Have they got machine 1 in over there? They're working on machine 1.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
You know how the one thing I've learned tonight? Mm-hmm. We got to find somebody to go to Spencer.
Well, and we had a good person in line there, Spencer. It just
Yeah.
got caught up in some other stuff. So I got a message here. Judge Blake Durrett of LaRue County. He's going to be back in as county judge. He got 55% of the votes in LaRue County.
Can you check on that PVA race? Do you have anybody over there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That was somebody local, and I do have somebody down there, but I could check on it. Yeah, I could do that. Let's see. She gave me the votes on this other. Let me see if they got that.
Machine 1 is done.
Machine 1 is done. We're waiting on the other.
Okay. And now we're just waiting on the other, right?
Yep. As soon as
And
this
then we'll
one's
be
it's
done.
all
So this
good.
is Thomas Nelson. So then we'll be able to give you some numbers here. And again, we appreciate a couple of folks that helped us, Snappy Tomato Pizza. Also, we want to thank Hill Realty and Auction. And a special thanks goes out to Washington County Fiscal Court and also Brett Berry, Washington County Clerk. You know, for so many years, we've counted on election coverage in the local newspapers here. But in the past, to get results as quick as some folks want, and right now people don't want to wait for anything, not even a hamburger or a cheeseburger. I'm just telling you, we are glad they step up to put us in a place to where we can provide this coverage. This is a new way we're doing it. We are big boys and girls. We're up for any thoughts, compliments, even criticism. We don't care.
Call him
We
with
want to be
criticism.
able to put it together and put together a good programming, because that's what we are. We are a production company. So we want to be able to bring you this, and that way you can have it. You can readily go back and watch it again. This will be on our gng.live website. It will be on all of our platforms. If you want to go back and watch it when we're done, you can watch the whole thing or just go through what you want to watch. Go to Smart TV, download the free app, G&G Productions, just like you would do HBO, just like you do Netflix, except ours is free. That's the only difference. You can download it, pick up any of our programming. YouTube, you can go to YouTube and pick up our programming. You can go to Fire TV and also Apple. We store all that so you'll be able to go back.
Correct.
Whereas Facebook and some other groups only keep your video for a few days. We've got it there for you to go back and watch at any time. So that's a piece that we are glad that we can provide, but we're also glad these folks are able to, to have the foresight to put it together, to bring election coverage. We just want to put it together for Marion, Nelson, and Washington County. Thank Matthew Smith.
That's what I was
out in
going
the
to
trailer.
say.
You want to go through that? Go ahead. I've talked enough.
Not only out in the trailer, but this spreadsheet that Matt has put together that encompasses 3 different counties, 3 different ballots. I don't know how many different candidates that all talks to feed into each other so that we're getting live totals and you're getting them on those screens. That's no easy task. Matt has worked diligently, I think, to the point that he just fell asleep on the keyboard last night trying to get everything in so that we can bring you this coverage. Matthew, everybody give me a heart button for Matt Smith right now, please. Everybody's going to give me a like button for Ben Augustine, who has sat here and had to listen to me give totals out and plug these numbers in. And it's very similar, as Ben's been on screen tonight and you've been watching some of that done. It's very similar to what's going on in Nelson County and in Marion County. In Nelson County, we got Jason and Randy Clark. In Marion County, we got Aubrey Osborne and Gracie Mann. I had to think about it because I'm used to calling her Gracie Graves, my daughter that's over there putting in totals over there, and they all kind of feed in together to give us this. And again, it's kind of wild to see it all come together.
Chad Puryear defeats David Dangerfield in LaRue County.
He was the
basically
incumbent.
about 2-1.
He was the incumbent. Chad Puryear.
Basically 2-1, it looks like, John. And I appreciate Sandy down there for getting me that information.
Thank you.
She's done well. Good, reliable source there in LaRue County.
All right. Ben, if you will go over to the Nelson County results tab, I think they've got past the, we'll bring you all the totals, but we want to look at that 14th district. Mr.
You
Goo.
just pull that up and I'm going to go
We just
down.
start at
We'll
the
start
top.
at the top and go down. Would that be good for you then,
Yes,
John?
sir.
All right, we'll start with Peggy Brady Smith.
Okay.
153, 102, 1,300, 1,408, 249, 1,450, 307.
Ben Mudd.
So Mudd and Robinson really close there.
Really
But it looks
close,
like,
but that
looks
gap
like
in Marion.
if your numbers are the same, it looks like it's going to be Ben Mudd.
Yes, it is. It's going to be about a 400 vote difference. 452. Victory is going to be 2,088. All right.
We're going to refresh this again and let our friends that follow G&G in Nelson County have a chance to see these refresh numbers that we have for you. And we'll go through a cycle or two and let you see those before we do get out
And we'll
here.
try to get down and post some of these
It's
totals.
got all that. We'll just double check. We'll make sure everybody's in on that.
We'll check right
Yeah, we'll
now.
check on that.
We got 2 more. And it's in.
Okay.
Everything's in.
Good job, brother. Awesome work, team. We appreciate everybody here tonight for G&G.
364 vote difference.
Okay, you ready? You want to just go on and just go through those again?
Peggy Smith, 368 votes. Byers, what was his first name? Brian
Byers.
Byers, 452. James Victory, 2,088. Ben Mudd, 4,122. Stephen Carney, 1,576. Dallas Robinson 3,758, and Lynn Shelburne with 1,390. So it looks like Ben Mudd by 364 votes unofficially based on all of our math.
What was your Mudd's math again, the total you had?
Mudd had 4,122.
And you said Robinson ran a second?
3,758.
Okay. There you go. And we're projecting anywhere around 30%, but it's going to be in the 20s for the state of Kentucky. Here in Washington County, 27.2% turnout. We know LaRue County had 29.2% turnout there in LaRue County. Before we leave, John, any thoughts? Any type of things that maybe struck you? It's not. I don't want to say anything surprise you, because in elections like this, there are things that, if it's a close race or whatever kind of race it is, we knew the state senate race was going to be, an up and down type of race. But you had a magistrate race very close. You had a sheriff's race in Marion County. We have a new sheriff that's going to be coming in regardless. It's done. But still a close race there. A lot of the things that a lot of your folks like to do with a cup of coffee at your coffee shop talk that kind of come about.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, the chatter that you hear on Facebook and kind of social media as you're hanging around these coffee shops. I don't think anything really surprised. The turnout surprised me. As much talk as we've had, as we've seen through our forums and everything, a 30% primary turnout is a little disappointing in my opinion. I think everybody had enough information out there. They had plenty of time to vote. They had plenty of options to vote. I really like to see people get more involved. And of course, this fall, the turnout will be more. But a 30% vote total, when you look at Washington County, there's about 9,000 voters. So you had about 3,000 come out today over the election cycle. So that's probably the only thing that surprised me. I was expecting a little bit bigger number in a primary.
Probably so. Do you anticipate that same type of numbers this fall?
No, I think local elections are retail politics at their most. I think that number, Washington County would typically trends in a local race north of 55% in voting. So I think that's what you're going to see this fall. I think it's going to be. I don't think it'll be double what you had in the spring, but I think it'll be north of 55.
Well, again. You've been able to follow the numbers here this evening. We appreciate everybody that's been a part of this. Snappy Tomato Pizza. Again, we thank Hale Realty and Auction. We would not be here if it were not for the Washington County Fiscal Court and the Washington County Clerk, Brett Berry. They believe in getting this information out. And again, that's why we're here at Washington County. They stood up and they really stepped forward to get this done. So they really wanted to get this information out in Washington County. We were able to be a part of Nelson and Marion County because of our crew and the span we have and just the technology we were able to put together to be able to bring it to you as we did. And sometimes that can be difficult in a rural area when you're streaming, but we were able to get it through with maybe a microphone or two problem, but nothing real serious here this evening. But a good crew.
Correct.
I want to personally thank the Clarks, J-Rod and Randy. Great job in Nelson County. We knew it was going to take a while in Nelson County, but we told you we'd wait with you. This is not a road race, it's a marathon. So we're here with you on that. Thanks to Gracie Mann and Aubrey Osborne. Appreciate what you've been able to do. And again, in Marion County, glad that we're able to bring you those numbers from Marion County, that's for sure. Ben, you did a great job, man. I'm going to brag you to your dad and your girlfriend. How's that sound? You're going to win double with me. New haircut, and he's just got everything going his direction. We love Ben. He does a great job with us, and glad he's a big part of what we do. Matt Smith out in the trailer, putting in a lot of time and a lot of great ideas to bring forth. And John, great job in your debut. As they do here at Washington County, they read every vote.
And I love it.
Every vote is read out, and that's where they come from. They don't pull them out of a magic hat. It's nothing fake about it. It's
No.
all as true blue as can be here at Washington County.
I was a little nervous going up there reading those.
You did a good job.
I only had one little mess up that everybody was like, "Whoa, pencils, erasers, now!" So, but it was a good job.
We'll gather some of this information up for you. We'll compare it with our with the state, definitely the Kentucky state election results as well. Have some of that for you tomorrow on our news on G&G On Demand, to where you'll be able to follow it. But again, if you want to see this again, go back and watch it. It's on gng.live. It is also on any of our platforms that we have, YouTube, Fire TV. We mentioned you can download the free app, which is very easy to do, whether it be election coverage or whether it be any type of sports functions we do on G&G. How do you close?
Brother?
Anything else? Really good. Thanks, guys. We appreciate everybody again here, and we're going to wind things up here at the Washington County Courthouse. For the entire G&G On Demand and G&G production team, this is Hal B. Good from the Washington County Courthouse, wishing you and yours a pleasant evening. So long, everybody.
Sale with Hale Realty and Auction offers a full line of sales and listing services. Hale Realty and Auction has attracted buyers and sellers from all across the United States and several foreign countries. Hale Realty and Auction offers a full line of real estate, from starter homes to large farms to commercial property in central Kentucky. Whether you're buying or selling a home, farm, or business, Hale Realty and Auction's mission is to give you individual service with a taste of Southern hospitality. Call us today or go to our website, salewithhale.com.
Snap, snap, snappy tomato pizza.
We make your pizza with our authentic recipe.
Snappy tomato pizza.
Hand stretch the dough and it's made fresh daily.
Snappy tomato pizza. Snappy tomato pizza.
I'm ready for a snappy tomato pizza right now. 111 East Main Street in Springfield. Call 859-336-9888 or order online at snappytomato.com.